Back to the Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, we should have started the segment with back in the saddle again, since I was gone for, all last week.
Oh, yeah, well.
You didn't even notice,
were gone?
did you?
What?
Yeah, I know. Bill Napick, I heard, did a great job. William Evanson did a great job. Lots of fun. Love having those guys be able to sit in. It's good to have competent help, especially when you have an incompetent producer.
Thanks so much.
But anyway, I had a great trip. It was kind of an adventure in minimalism. I'm interested more and more in the whole minimalistic lifestyle. I got back Saturday, and then I spent my, I had things that I had to take care of on Monday because I was gone last week. And
laundry.
So just playing catch up. But on Sunday, I ended up cleaning out all the crap in all of my dressers. I'm really on this minimalism kick, and I like it. It's this idea between, clutter stands between us and serenity, peace of mind. And so I'm getting rid of the clutter in my life. My trip was a minimalistic kind of trip, not very expensive. I took Spirit Airlines, which cost less than $100 round trip. By the way,
what?
Congressman Steve Stockman was on the plane with me.
That's funny. I saw that Facebook post. I thought that was hilarious.
Mr. Frugality himself, fiscal conservative.
But that was like total coincidence?
Total coincidence.
Wow.
And then I had and so thanks to him being on the plane, I got a free ride to where I was going.
Awesome.
He just had his driver drop me off. And
I'm confused. He's not still in office, is he?
No, it's just his driver was, it's a long story. But
okay.
He's clever that way. He's very clever.
Yeah, he is.
Stockman's very clever that way. But I stayed at an Airbnb, $30 a night.
What?
And it was great. It met my expectations because, first of all, I don't go to places to stay in a room. I just want to make sure it's safe area, clean, comfortable.
Was this one of those BYOB bring your own beds?
No, it had a great bed at that, and it's a little firmer than I prefer. But so the one at the Hilton that I stayed at. So my goal was to see how much trip I can get in at little of a cost. So it's kind of an experiment. Used Uber whenever I could. Of course, it has.
Wait a second, they didn't have surge pricing for CPAC?
They did a little bit, so I waited for 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It tells you how long surge pricing is. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Took the subway 90% of the time. My total trip, 5 days, about $500.
Wow. Including airfare?
Including airfare.
That's insane.
Yep. And so, I was saying, it may be cheaper for me to travel than to be at home.
Oh.
So it was awesome. It was great. Got some great interviews in. You remember Charles Cook? We had him on the radio show. We got him now for the TV show. He'll be up on a future issue. He was there, stumbled on him, and I interviewed him. And then
he's a good
Steve
guy.
Forbes. Steve Forbes was on.
Steve
we did
Forbes.
a couple segments with him.
Cool.
So we got some really good interviews. And we got an interview with the guy who single-handedly in the House torpedoed the Gang of Eight proposal that would have led to the rush. It was actually a guy who worked for Steve Stockman who instigated, who discovered, obviously there was a revenue element to the immigration bill that was passed by, pushed by by the Gang of Eight. Well, all revenue bills have to create in the House of Representatives.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
That's how Stockman and his legislative director, whom I interviewed, torpedoed that. We have the whole story that's going to be up there.
Now, that's fascinating because you didn't hear about that in the media at all.
No. And by the way, he also was there in the rooms and saw Rubio promoting this proposal and Ted Cruz putting all of these, pills into that proposal that would kill it.
To try to kill it, yeah.
He killed it, is what he did. And so I'm telling you, Cruz gets screwed by the media constantly. It's horrific.
Yeah, he does.
So, and I heard some interesting speeches. Probably the best one was Carly Fiorina's.
Really?
The best speech I heard was probably hers.
And she's not even a conservative.
She's not. I know. That's the part that's so puzzling.
I mean, can we just stop with the CPAC? It just needs to be PAC because...
Oh, yeah.
We're the conservatives.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd went wild for her. She spoke at the Reagan dinner, which is one of the most prestigious events that they have. Probably not as many people there as some of the other ones, but it's the people with the money.
Right.
You know, people with the money show up for that event. And then you've got, who else did I see? John Kasich. You know, super nice guy.
Again, not a conservative.
Certainly one of the nicest people I've ever known in politics. Not a conservative, not by any stretch of the imagination. I got to tell you, the Cruz deal, thank God I had media credentials or I would have never gotten in that room. There was a line to get in the entire time for when Ted Cruz spoke. And that crowd went wild when he spoke. And
because
line.
He was the actual conservative there.
The
only
only real conservative that was a candidate, obviously. Maybe Ben Carson. I don't know. Carson's freaky. I don't get Carson.
You know, and he went to CPAC to suspend his campaign.
Almost in a Lyndon LaRouche sort of way, right?
Right. He went to CPAC to suspend his campaign.
Yeah.
Who does that?
That's
that
right.
makes everything about that man makes no sense.
This is
ever since this started.
And he announced that he was going to announce that he supported someone, but the way he said it sounded like it was not going to be Ted Cruz.
Wow. Well,
so.
You know,
which to me, I think he's going to regret not supporting Ted
Cruz.
I
think he's going to support Carly Fiorina.
The best line, though, she may have gave the best speech. The best line was Ted Cruz. We're talking about Hillary Clinton's email situation.
Yeah.
You know, orange is the new black for those who vote blue.
Yeah, right.
That was a great line. I like that line.
Yep.
So
it's a good
Cruz
line.
was awesome. Cruz was awesome. So spot on. I felt even better about it supporting Cruz after watching that event. You know, did
he have any unknown flying objects enter his mouth?
Has that happened before?
It happened at the debate, and boy, did it make the rounds.
Well, you're going to have to show me that between the break.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's not even worth talking about, but that's me talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? Let's see. Donald Trump wasn't there.
Nope.
So it wasn't complete and utter media circus time.
Nope. Trump, that's an interesting story in and of itself because in the last minute he decided not to go.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be there Saturday morning.
Yeah,
and he pulled out.
He doesn't like to go to places where people might actually
hold him accountable
for his positions. You know, let's face it. This is such a circus. I remember the OJ trial back in the mid-'90s. That was really quite boring and tame in comparison to this election cycle.
Yeah,
so far.
It really was. It's interesting you say that, but that's true.
And now that it's coming back in the the knife, you heard about that, or were you too busy?
No, I heard about that.
Yeah,
but they're saying it doesn't add up.
No, but neither does this election cycle.
Well, and really, they wouldn't be talking. You know, of course, there's a whole TV now miniseries or something like that about the OJ trial. They wouldn't. You know, if it weren't for the Kardashians, we probably wouldn't even be covering it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true.
The culture's only interested.
You can't say covering and Kardashians in the same sentence, though.
Why? Because she's impossible to cover?
They never cover up. Yeah, she just released another naked selfie.
I saw an article on a tabloid that said she weighs 170 pounds.
Well, perhaps if they're just counting her rear end. It's possible.
Oh, isn't it amazing how quickly a radio show can devolve?
Off the rails, baby.
Amazing.
Because this is the election cycle. It's off the rails. I mean, seriously, everything about it is bizarre.
That's a good point. I mean, if we're going to handle, the political conversation like we handle it these days, how do you expect any conversation to be of quality or serious?
Or substance.
There
is no substance. When you have Marco Rubio talking about Donald Trump's small hands, and then at the debate, Donald Trump makes a comment about his genitalia. Hey, there's no problem.
Yeah,
I guarantee there's no problem.
There's no problem.
I can't believe that a presidential candidate would get up there on stage. And, I mean, I'm sorry, it is insane. Anybody supporting Donald Trump is insane right now. He cannot be president. He is not presidential.
Nope.
Watch that. If you think that that's okay, it's not.
Nope.
He is going to. I don't care what positions you hold in common with him. That man, his character, and I mean character like a comic book, or cartoon. His persona is so unpresidential. It is just amazing,
unbelievable.
And anybody who thinks that half the country is going to somehow come over and vote for him. I mean, we're talking about people who voted for Barack Obama,
who actually overtly mocks his supporters as he does an inventory of all who support them. And the poorly educated And I love the poorly educated, which, by the way, is you if you support Donald Trump.
The people who support him when he did that disabled reporter.
Yeah.
He mocked him. I mean, I'm sorry, but that is so schoolyard bully. I just, in this day and age, I cannot fathom that man becoming our president. And I guarantee you, if for some reason he wins the nomination, whoever is running against him on the Democrat side automatically wins.
Yeah, automatically. Even Hillary Clinton, who I think is one of the most unelectable candidates I've seen in my entire life.
She immediately becomes like Saint Hillary.
Yeah. Stateswoman
There's
Hillary.
no way that the media and most of the American people are going to say, let's vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's just not happening. So I'm glad he skipped CPAC. I wish he'd skip the rest of the primaries.
I think he is getting nervous. Super Saturday was very disappointing for Donald Trump.
It was.
More than half of the votes that he got, they said he got weeks ago in early voting. So everything's changed. If you were based it on the votes that were...
I didn't hear that.
If you base it on the votes, almost half, not quite half. If you base it on the votes in almost every state, I think, if you base it on the votes that were issued on Saturday, that were casted on Saturday, Cruz would have won every state.
Wow.
That's how scary it's getting.
So that's momentum for Cruz.
Oh, Cruz's momentum is unbelievable now.
Interesting.
But you remember what MacArthur said? Wars are lost because of too little, too late.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
frankly, both him and Rubio had a lot of hubris to let Trump go this long. The only guy who tackled Trump before was Rand Paul. Rand Paul is the only guy who tackled him.
Here's the thing about Donald Trump. He is a runaway freight train.
Yeah.
It is very hard to stop a runaway freight train.
Yep.
So, now we all get to sit back and watch the train wreck.
Yeah, lucky us. Woohoo! All right, I do want to remind you, I tell you, I did a great show just because my guest, Damon John over there from Shark Takes.
Yeah.
It was aired on Sunday on the Biz TV network. You can watch it right now at usdailyreview.com. Check out that interview. More for you after this on The Price of Business.